Have you ever felt the ground vanish beneath you? That dizzying moment when everything you thought was certain suddenly slips away, leaving you breathless and unsure of what comes next? One moment, you're standing on a foundation of love and trust, surrounded by people you believe will always be there for you, feeling safe in the warmth of their presence. Then suddenly, you're falling, alone. The laughter fades, the warmth disappears, and you're left with only the echo of what used to be. This is Alara's story. A woman cast out by those she trusted most, told she was the problem, left with nothing but heartbreak and questions that seemed to have no answers. But this isn't just about pain. It's about what comes after. The moment when everything changes, when the darkness begins to lift, and a new day starts to dawn. Alara's lowest point became the start of her greatest chapter. In her solitude, she found a spark of hope, a reason to keep going even when it felt impossible. Sometimes being pushed out is actually being set free. Sometimes the end of one story is the beginning of another, more powerful one. Her husband, Mark, and his family chipped away at her spirit, defining her worth by what she could give them. They made her feel invisible, as if her needs and dreams didn't matter. When they decided she had nothing left, they discarded her. They closed the door, never looking back, convinced she would never rise again. But a secret was waiting for Alara, a secret that would change everything and reveal the truth about those who betrayed her. Sometimes the answers we seek are hidden in the most unexpected places. This story is for anyone who's ever been underestimated or told they're not enough. For anyone who's ever questioned their own worth because of someone else's cruelty. Alara's journey isn't a fairy tale. It's a raw, real look at reclaiming your life and finding your voice, even when it shakes and trembles at first. It's about turning heartbreak into redemption, and learning that the pieces of a broken heart can be the foundation for something stronger, and discovering the power of second chances, especially the one you give yourself. Because sometimes the most important person to forgive and believe in is you. Her story will make you believe in the strength that lies within us all, and remind you that even when your world falls apart, you can build something beautiful from the pieces. Stories like Alara's flash across our screens. Woman kicked out by husband inherits billions. And we scroll past, missing the real human story. Alara's journey is more than clickbait. It's about struggle, triumph, and the universal desire for respect and dignity. We root for the underdog because we want to believe goodness will be rewarded. Her story isn't just about money. It's about rediscovering self-worth after being defined by others' criticism. The true inheritance wasn't the fortune, but the chance to become who she was meant to be. This is a roadmap for personal empowerment, not revenge. Alara used her new power for healing and growth. Her story teaches us, circumstances don't define us, character does. True character is forged in the fire of our greatest challenges. So as we dive deeper, see Alara not as a lottery winner, but as a courageous woman who chose to rise. Her journey is a lesson for us all. It's about reclaiming your story, and it's about hope. Picture a cold, rainy evening, the kind where the world feels heavy, and every drop against the window echoes the ache inside your chest. Alara stands in her living room, once filled with laughter, warmth, and shared dreams. Now it's a courtroom, cold and silent, where love is put on trial and memories are evidence. Mark, her husband, and his mother Eleanor deliver their verdict, voices sharp, eyes cold. You're not enough, it's over, leave. The words hang in the air, impossible to take back. Every word is a blow, designed to make her feel small, to chip away at the person she once was. The pain is raw, immediate, and relentless. Alara pleads, her voice trembling, searching for understanding, for mercy. But her words fall on deaf ears, lost in the storm of blame and disappointment. The love she thought was her anchor, her safe harbor, was just an illusion, fragile, shattered in an instant. She clings to memories, but they slip through her fingers like water. They blame her for everything: Mark's stalled career, the family's unhappiness, every crack in their perfect facade. The weight of their accusations is suffocating. She's handed a suitcase and told to go, her presence erased from their future plans. As they talk about moving on, she realizes she's already been written out of their story. She steps into the rain, suitcase in hand, leaving behind her home, her marriage, and the life she thought she'd built. Each step away is a step into the unknown. The door closes behind her with a finality that echoes in her heart, a sound that marks the end of one chapter and the terrifying start of another. In that moment, she is utterly alone. erased by those who promised to love her forever. The silence outside is deafening, but it's also honest. The heartbreak is absolute, a pain that seems endless. But in the darkness, a tiny spark of hope flickers. This ending, as brutal as it is also the beginning of something new. Sometimes the end is where you find your true beginning. The first light of dawn promises that healing is possible, even after the deepest wounds. Alara's pain is real, but so is her resilience. With every tear, she grows stronger, piecing herself back together, one breath at a time. She walks away, uncertain of what lies ahead, but knowing that her story is far from over. Each step is a quiet act of courage. The world has taken everything, but it's about to give her back herself. And that changes everything. In the ruins of Heartbreak, Alara will discover her own strength and a future she never imagined. Weeks pass in a fog of grief. Alara, broken and lost, stays with a friend, haunted by the voices that told her she was nothing. Then a letter arrives from a law firm. She almost throws it away, but curiosity wins. The words leap out: last will and testament, sole beneficiary. Her great-aunt Serafina, a woman she barely knew, has left her everything. Serafina, a bold, independent spirit, admired Alara from afar. The inheritance is staggering: billions, properties, a business empire. Alara is stunned. Just weeks ago, she was called a burden. Now she's one of the world's wealthiest women. But more than money, it's a lifeline, a second chance to rewrite her story. The shock gives way to a flicker of power. This isn't just about fortune, it's about freedom. Alara realizes she can finally define her own worth. The universe has handed her the pen to her own story, and she's ready to write a new chapter. Sometimes, the greatest gifts come when you least expect them. Alara's transformation is quiet but profound. She learns business, finance, and philanthropy. But the real change is within. Each decision, each lesson, strips away the old, insecure Alara. She stands taller, her voice steady, her presence commanding. At her first public event, she's unrecognizable, elegant, confident, radiant. News of her fortune spreads, reaching Mark and his family. Their shock is palpable. They realize too late what they've lost. Alara knows they'll come back, but she's no longer afraid. The woman they discarded is gone. In her place stands someone stronger. She's a phoenix, risen from the ashes, ready to write her own story. Her return isn't about wealth, it's about self-worth. She's not seeking revenge, but redemption. Alara is finally the author of her own life, and she's just getting started. On a golden, sunlit afternoon, Alara's assistant steps into the living room, her voice gentle but urgent, announcing unexpected visitors, Mark and Eleanor. They arrive uninvited, their faces a tangled mix of awe, anxiety, and thinly veiled desperation as they take in the grandeur of Alara's home. Mark, voice trembling, pleads, "We made a mistake. We want you back." His words hang in the air, heavy with regret, or so it seems. Eleanor quickly echoes him, but their eyes dart around the room, betraying their true motive: greed, not love. Their glances linger on the symbols of Alara's success. Alara listens, calm and resolute, her gaze unwavering. For the first time, she sees them for who they truly are, people who value her wealth more than her heart. "You don't want me back," she says quietly, her voice steady. "You want my money. There's a big difference, and I see it now." She reminds them, when she had nothing, when she was at her lowest, they turned their backs and threw her out without a second thought, leaving her to face the world alone. Now, drawn by the shine of her success, they want to return, not out of love or remorse, but out of self-interest and envy. Alara stands, her resolve unshakable. "The home you speak of is no longer mine. The family you speak of is no longer my family," she declares, her voice echoing with newfound strength. She forgives them, not for their sake, but for her own peace. Yet she knows she will never forget the pain they caused. "I won't let you back in to hurt me again. This conversation is over," she says, her words final, her boundaries clear. With a calm but decisive gesture, she sets her boundary, clear, unbreakable, and long overdue. Mark and Eleanor leave, their hopes dashed, realizing the door to Alara's life is truly closed. She watches them go, her dignity and self-worth intact. For the first time, she feels a wave of relief and freedom. She's no longer defined by their approval or their absence. She's free to be herself. Sometimes the greatest power is simply saying no and truly meaning it. Alara has reclaimed her story, and her future is hers alone. In that confrontation, Alara teaches a lesson more valuable than money. Respect, dignity, and integrity can't be bought. Mark and his family thought wealth would erase the past and buy forgiveness. They were wrong. Alara's true power comes from surviving their cruelty and finding her own strength. Her wealth is just a tool. Her real treasure is self-respect. She shows her dignity isn't for sale. Her emotional well-being is more precious than any inheritance. Alara's firm stance is an act of self-love. She reminds us true worth is inherent, not given by others. You can't treat someone as worthless and expect to share in their fortune later. Real value is always there, whether anyone else sees it or not. That's the lesson she leaves behind. What do we take from Alara's journey? Your worth isn't measured by money, status, or others' opinions. True worth comes from within: self-respect, resilience, and courage. The billions didn't make Alara worthy. They revealed the strength she always had. This is about independence: emotional, spiritual, and yes, financial. Sometimes losing everything is what sets you free. True wealth is building a life that honors your spirit. You are the author of your story. You decide who belongs in your life. Like Alara, you can walk away from what diminishes you and invest in your own healing. It's not easy, but it's the most important work you'll ever do. Let her journey inspire you to stand tall in your truth. Your value is absolute, never negotiable. Integrity, kindness, and spirit are your greatest assets. That is the true meaning of wealth. We've walked with Alara from heartbreak to triumph. Her story reminds us, even when broken, we can rebuild stronger. Now, what's your story? What challenges have shaped you? Think of a time you stood up for yourself or set a boundary. Those are your moments of power. Reflect on your journey. What does living your truth look like? You have the right to a life that feels authentic and joyful. Remember, you are the hero of your own story. Go out and write a magnificent one. Thank you for sharing this journey today.